Anyway, moving on to a fight that everybody's been talking about. It's been a lot of ink in this fight, a lot of shit talking, and that's a middleweight bout between Michael Bisping and Alan Belcher. And it could end up being one of the most interesting fights on this card because there's been a lot of fucking trash talking, a lot of going back and forth. And
they are definitely doing their part to sell this pay-per-view.
They are definitely.
I mean, look, let's be honest. Those two are they're trying to reach the rarefied air that the guy in the main event has done, and they're doing their best at it. And it's funny. I mean, you got Belcher in the back of a Rolls-Royce Phantom with one of the Cincinnati Bengals players saying they'll put that up on the line. Then you got Bisping coming back to a car lot and shooting a video where they're in a Fiat. It's just it's funny what's going back and forth. But what I don't think's going to be funny is when Belcher finishes this fight.
You know, it's funny. George is definitely taking the side. He thinks Belcher's going to finish this fight. I don't know. Like, I start to lean that way, and I think, you know what? Because of Michael Bisping's losses, I always like, he just can't seem to get it done. But then every time he goes up against an opponent, like someone of Alan Belcher's status, and what I mean by that is somebody not a big fight, somebody who is not fucking juiced to the gills, you know what I mean? Somebody who's just a normal fighter, who's coming in clean, not fucking pumped up on TRT. He seems to do pretty fucking well, you know what I mean? And when I go by that, it kind of makes me think, all right, you know what? I gotta lean towards Michael Bisping, but you know what? Alan Belcher seems like he has a lot of fucking confidence, dude. And you know what? I think I'm going to go with you, George. I think Alan Belcher's going to pull the upset. I don't know who's the favorite in Vegas right now, but I think I'm going to go with you.
I don't either. And for the people out there who are upset that we don't have the Vegas odds in our back pocket, fucking get over it.
What, somebody
was complaining. Somebody was complaining with our Frank Mir breakdown that we didn't talk about how he went to the Greg Jackson camp. Here's a question: does it look like that shit helped?
No. You know, the only thing
did he look any better?
No. Only thing I saw that helped him was that he was in better conditioning because usually Frank Mir.
You know what? Do me a favor. For all of you UFC fans out there and all you MMA fans out there, tell me the last fighter who went from their camp to Greg Jackson's camp, like switch camps to Greg Jackson, didn't get brought up in the system like Condit and John Jones.
Right.
Who went to Greg Jackson's camp and became a better fighter?
Clay Guida.
I'll wait.
Clay Guida. I think he did. I think that's the only person. I mean, even though he kind of did the running game that last fight, until that, I thought he did okay. He was
how many wins does Clay Guida have since moving to the Greg Jackson camp?
I don't know if it translates to wins. I could be honest. I just thought he looked. I thought he was a better prepared fighter. That's just my opinion. You know.
Okay. Well, I want to see who else out there agrees with you or can come up with somebody.
Yeah.
There might be some dude in the bottom of that stable I've never heard of that might have gone from being 0-6 to fucking 10-6.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, great. But right now, Greg Jackson does not have a really good track record of improving fighters,
right?
In my opinion,
right. He's I think his method of fighting is so conservative. You know what I mean? And you saw that with Donald Cerrone when he jumped in that camp. His first fight, he's like, okay, I was fighting not to lose and not fighting to win. And so sometimes, I agree with you, man. It's not a lot. So
that's the interactive portion of this video. What fighter has gotten better when switching to Greg Jackson's camp?
Tell us down there,
please.
All right, now with that being said. What do you think? You think it's going to get a distance? You think Belcher's going to knock him out?
I still think maybe not knock. I just think Belcher's going to finish this fight. I don't see it going to the decision. And even if it goes to the decision, dude, this is going to be a firework match. I see these two guys towing it up and just throwing bombs.
Right. Yeah. And one thing you did say earlier before the cameras were on with that, Michael Bisping doesn't seem to have the best jaw. Like we've seen him we saw him get flattened by Vitor. We saw him get flattened by Dan Henderson. I mean, they both had a little bit of testosterone behind their punches, literally. And
a little.
But Alan Belcher, he might go down that same road and do the same thing. So anyway, I think he's going to I think if it goes a decision, it might kind of swing towards Bisping, but I think Belcher will finish it as well.
Yeah, I think the longer the fight goes, the better it's for Bisping.
Yeah,
but I still think Belcher's gonna find a way to prevail.
Yeah, I think maybe a TKO in the third or submission. Comical, brash, and sometimes politically incorrect. The Uncut Sports Show. Non-traditional sports coverage delivered the way you like it by your uncensored co-hosts Kevin White and George Bedford.